welcome back to the Bible Breakdown channel. Today's video will be the raising of Lazarus. Have you ever felt the sting of loss? That heart-wrenching moment when you say goodbye to someone you love, and it feels so final. It's a universal human experience, a pain we all understand. But what if death wasn't the end of the story? What if the impossible could happen? Today we're diving into one of the most profound and moving stories ever told, the raising of Lazarus. This isn't just a miracle. It's a story about friendship, faith, and the ultimate power over life and death itself. The story begins in a small village called Bethany, home to three siblings, Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. They weren't just followers of Jesus, they were his dear friends. The Bible tells us that Jesus loved them. Imagine that kind of friendship, a deep, personal bond. One day, while Jesus was away teaching, tragedy struck. Lazarus fell gravely ill. His sisters Mary and Martha were frantic. They knew who could help. They sent a messenger to Jesus with a simple, urgent plea. "Lord, the one you love is sick." Now, you'd expect Jesus to drop everything and rush to his friend's side, right? But that's not what happened. When Jesus heard the news, he said something puzzling. This sickness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it. And then, he stayed where he was for 2 more days. Can you imagine the sisters' anxiety? They sent word, they trusted, they waited, and nothing. The clock was ticking. Every passing hour made their hope dimmer. We can almost feel their desperation, checking the road, waiting for a sign, their hearts sinking with each passing moment. Finally, after 2 days, Jesus turned to his disciples and said, "Let us go back to Judea." His disciples were worried. The last time they were there, people had tried to stone Jesus, but Jesus was resolute. He then said something even more cryptic. "Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I am going there to wake him up." The disciples, thinking he meant natural sleep, were confused. So Jesus told them plainly, "Lazarus is dead, and for your sake I am glad I was not there, so that you may believe. But let us go to him." Thomas ever the realist famously said, "Let us also go, that we may die with him." Even in their fear, their loyalty to Jesus was unwavering. By the time Jesus and his disciples arrived in Bethany, the situation was far worse than they imagined. Lazarus hadn't just passed away, he had been in the tomb for 4 days. In the hot climate of the Middle East, this was significant. It meant that any hope of resuscitation was gone. The body would have already begun to decompose. This wasn't a close call. This was a certainty. Death had claimed its victory, and the family was deep in mourning. Martha, always the practical and active one, heard Jesus was approaching and rushed out to meet him. Her words are a mix of faith and heartbreak. "Lord," she cried, "if you had been here, my brother would not have died." You can hear the what if in her voice, the pain of the last few days. "But I know," she added, her faith flickering, but not extinguished, "that even now God will give you whatever you ask." Jesus looked at this grieving woman, his friend, and offered her a promise that would echo through eternity. "Your brother will rise again." Martha, thinking of the future resurrection at the end of time, replied, "I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day." She had the right theology, but she was about to witness something far more immediate, far more personal. And then, Jesus spoke 7 of the most powerful words in the entire Bible. He looked into Martha's eyes and declared, "I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this?" This was the pivotal question. He wasn't just offering a future hope, he was claiming to be the very source of life itself. He was asking her to shift her faith from a future event to a present person. In a profound moment of clarity, Martha answered, "Yes, Lord. I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who is to come into the world." After her conversation with Jesus, Martha went back to the house and quietly told her sister, "Mary, the teacher is here and is asking for you." Mary, who had been sitting at home, surrounded by mourners, got up quickly and went to him. When she reached Jesus, she fell at his feet, overcome with grief, and said the exact same words as her sister, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Her response was one of pure, raw emotion. When Jesus saw Mary weeping, and the others who had come with her also weeping, the Bible gives us a glimpse into his heart. It says he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. This wasn't a detached, divine being observing human sorrow. He felt it. He was troubled by the pain, the brokenness, the devastation that death brings. "Where have you laid him?" he asked. "Come and see, Lord," they replied. And then, we have the shortest verse in the Bible, but one of the most powerful. Jesus wept. He cried. The Son of God, the one who holds the universe together, stood by a friend's grave and shed tears. He wept for Lazarus. He wept with Mary and Martha. He wept for all of humanity, groaning under the weight of death. His tears show us a God who is not distant or indifferent to our pain, but one who enters into it with us. His grief was real, so real that the people watching said, "See how he loved him." But now, it was time for grief to give way to glory. Jesus went to the tomb. It was a cave, with a large stone rolled across the entrance. "Take away the stone," Jesus commanded. Martha, ever the practical one, protested. "My Lord," she said, "by this time there is a bad odor, for he has been there for days." She was trying to protect him, to spare everyone the grim reality of what was inside. But Jesus gently reminded her, "Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?" So, they rolled the stone away. The moment hung heavy in the air. What would happen next? Jesus then looked up to heaven and prayed, not for power, but in thanksgiving. He prayed aloud so that the crowd would know his power came from the Father. "Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me." After he had said this, Jesus took a deep breath and called out in a loud voice, a voice that commanded creation itself, "Lazarus, come out." Imagine the silence, the anticipation, everyone holding their breath, and then, movement. From the darkness of the tomb a figure emerged. It was Lazarus. He was still bound hand and foot with his grave clothes, a cloth around his face. He was alive. The man who was dead for 4 days was standing before them, breathing, living. The impossible had just happened. "Take off the grave clothes and let him go," Jesus said. And as they unwrapped him, the reality of the miracle sank in. Lazarus was not a ghost. He was flesh and blood. He was home. He was alive. Can you even begin to imagine the joy, the shock, the sheer awe that erupted in that moment? The weeping turned to shouting, the mourning to celebration. Death had been defeated right before their very eyes. The impact of this event was immediate and massive. Many of the people who had come to comfort Mary and Martha, who had witnessed this incredible miracle with their own eyes, put their faith in Jesus. They saw the proof. They saw the glory of God. This wasn't a trick. It was a demonstration of absolute authority over the greatest enemy of humanity, death itself. The raising of Lazarus wasn't just about bringing one man back to life. It was the ultimate sign, the final and most powerful proof pointing to who Jesus truly was, the resurrection and the life. It was a preview of his own victory over the grave that was to come. This story reminds us that even in our darkest moments, when all hope seems lost, when we're facing our own 4-day situations, there is a voice that can call us out of the tomb. Jesus' question to Martha is his question to us today. Do you believe this? Do you believe that he has power over death? Do you believe that he is the source of life? Because when we do, it changes everything. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores these timeless truths. See you next time.